Okay, don't worry, this ain't a test. Okay, graphing quadratic equations, I don't care about the range. Get that out of there. I just waste needless time. I'm not even a fan of that. Second power means it's a parabola. It's a U, so we need 3 coordinates. I need to kind of boat race through this to make it shorter. Now, is this ABC or AHK? It's ABC. So the way do we find the middle x, which is where the vertex is based, you can write that down, you don't have to, is opposite of b divided by 2 times a. So the opposite of b is negative 6. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So that's going to be 1 when I divide. So to the right 1 and to the left 1, then you substitute those into the coordinates. Okay. Find your y output. So if x is 2, it goes here and here. So negative 3 times 2 to the second plus 6 times 2 minus 4. Got negative 4. Now I click the up arrow. I put 1. And now I'm at negative 1. Then hopefully I'm back at negative 4 when I put 0 in. And I know I'm going to be, because if you put 0 in, that's out and that's out. And that'd be negative 4. Only because it's 0. So you go forward 2, down 4. Forward 1, down 1. And then 0, negative 4. Stay in the middle, down 1, 2, 3, 4. It is upside down because your a is a negative value. If the a in the quadratic is negative, the graph of the functions goes downward with a maximum. Okay, next one. That is a quadratic, and it's in a different formation. It's AHK. Now, dude, just make 3 coordinates like you did up there. This is even easier than the top one. There's no really formula. The middle vertex is just the opposite of the H value. Okay, opposite, that doesn't say B, that says H. Opposite of H, opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Now, you can plug up and then you go, of course, 6 and 4. And plug them in. I can tell you what that one's going to be. It's going to be set negative 7. Okay, so 4. Negative 3. Negative 7. Negative 3. Okay, so forward 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 1, 2, 3. 5, negative 7, forward 5, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go forward 4, down 1, 2, 3. Okay, solve the equation. Now you're solving quadratic equations. You know there are 2 solutions because the variable is to the second power. Okay. So I look at that. That is an A and a B. And again, you had that little rules notes that I passed out. An A and a B is just your kicking out your GCF, and then you're going to be able to solve. So 6 and 12 is 6, and then the last term has x, so I factor that out. Then I go up and divide by 6x. That cancels. That becomes 1 with x, because x squared divided by x is x minus 2. Now, those are my 2 factors. That's all I need to find the 2 answers, F1, F2. Okay. So 6x could equal 0, or 1x minus 2 could equal 0. 0 divided by 6 is 0, plus 2 plus 2. It's just 2. Okay, you can divide by 1, you don't really have to. Okay, number 5, x to the second power minus 3 equals 47. So there's 2 solutions. All these have 2 solutions, okay? That's A, and then these are C's, so we don't factor with that. We just get the A's on one side, the C's on the other, much similar like you do with a linear equation. You can use linear properties until you deal with the second power. So I add 3 to 47, and that's 50. You can divide by the 1 or just take it off. It doesn't matter. Now, if that's like a 2, you need to divide by it. Okay, and then I apply a square root to the 50. Now, 50 is not a perfect square from the board, so I make 2 square roots. From the board, 50 by 49 ain't it. 50 divided by 49 ain't it. 50 divided by 36 ain't it. 50 divided by 25 is it. 25 and 2. So we're going to have 5 with square root of 2 and 5 square root of 2 negative. No I, because the number we put the square root over was positive. You will be marked if you put an I when it's not necessary. Okay, 3 times the quantity x minus 4 to the second equals 48. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's an ABC. I think that's an AHK. Now with AHK, to find the two roots of the x, the solutions, you do not need to get the x equal to 0. Okay, you don't have to get it equal to 0. You make a table, you put what inside of the quadratic function comes over here, both sides. Okay, so I'm going to replace that with just h to the second, so it makes it a little more simpler. So 3h to the second, just replace the entire inside the quadratic with just h second though. Now, you need to solve like you would an AC equation. You divide by the coefficient to get 16. Then find the square root of 16. 16 is a perfect square, so don't make the 2 square roots, it's 4. Okay. Could be positive or negative 4, but then I need to transition the 4 over here and find the two solutions. Plus 4, x would equal 8. Plus 4, x would be 0. Okay. Okay, number 7, x to the second power minus 7x minus 44 equals 0. Okay. So A, B, C. Okay, remember, C, you have to have, A, B, C, you have to have it equal to 0. It's going to be a trinomial. Can we factor, or what do we got? This can have 3 results: a whole number, an irrational decimal, or a negative where I have to do the I. Okay, so B negative 7, and then 4. A is 1, C is negative 44. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 4 times 1 times negative 44 is negative 176. Okay. Oh, my bad. That's negative 7 to the second. I'm sorry. That's 49. Okay, 49. So 4 times 1 times negative 44. That's good. Negative 176. That one would go to a plus plus. Take 49 plus 176, and I got 225. 225 is a perfect square. You can square it on your calculator. That's a whole number. So just put whole. That means I expect this to be solved through factoring. You could use a quadratic formula, but I'm going to mark you off. You do that. You need to know how to factor going forward in this class for second semester. GCF would just be 1. Okay, so don't need to do it. 1 times negative 44 is negative 44. So that's a positive times a negative. And the factors have to add to get to negative 7. 1 and 44, nope. Divided by 2, you get 22, nope. 3 is a decimal. If I divide 44 by 4, I come up with 11. There it is, negative 7. Okay. Now your A up there is 1x to the second. So you can ditch your 1, you don't need that. Make 2 parentheses out of it, okay? Because you don't have that coefficient to worry about, it's just x squared, so that's just split into x times x, okay? Plus 4 minus 11, and then you have your 2 f labels to solve. So x plus 4 could equal 0, or x minus 11 equals 0. So you minus 4, you get negative 4, add 11, 0 plus 11 is 11. Okay, number 8, 5x to the second power minus 6x minus 8 equals 0. Okay. Okay, so let's apply the discriminant because it's ABC. Again, what's confusing about this is that they take place in various forms. Each form has its own unique method of solving it. A is 5, C is negative 8. Again, the point of doing this is so I don't go on a wild goose chase with the t table, okay? So negative 6 times negative 6, because in Algebra 1 I made you do the t table, and then you'd find out, oh, this is never going to work. That's pretty annoying. It slows it down. So negative 160. Okay, that's 196. Square root of 96, it's 14. That's a whole number. Okay, so factoring is the way to go. GCF, okay, 5, 6, and 8, that's 1, okay. 5 times negative 8 is negative 40, so it's a negative, so it's got to be a positive multiplied by a negative. That's how two things multiply to a negative number, okay. And you need to be adding to try to equal the b term of negative 6. So middle. I know it's going to work because I found a whole number in the discriminant. That's not it. Positive negative divided by 2, you get 20. That ain't it. Doesn't divide by 3. 4 and 10. That's it. Okay, add them, you get negative 6. A is 5x to the second. Okay, well, got news for you. You need to deal with your 5. You can't just pick the numbers off the table and put them over here. It ain't going to work like that. We know that's x times x. We just need to make two groups of parentheses where we put 5x, 5x, and then plus 4 minus 10. Okay, 5 and 4 is just in the first row, and you'll have that multiplication table. 5 and 10 is in the fifth row. It's going to be 1x or x minus 2. Okay, that's your factoring. Now you just got to transition to the solution. So 5x plus 4 could equal 0, or 1x minus 2 could equal 0. Minus 4 minus 4, 5x equals negative 4. And you get negative 4/5 plus 2, that's 2. Okay, next one. X squared minus 6x plus 4 equals 0. So two solutions, A, B, and C. So again, we're going with the discriminant. So B, negative 6, A is 1, C is 4. It's going to be 36. 4 times 1 times 4 is 16. Square root of 20. Now we know this isn't probably going to be a whole number, but you can have a decimal. You just can't be square rooting a negative. I'm okay if it's that's an irrational decimal. So you put 4.47 and just put IR for irrational. So if I got an irrational decimal, then the t-chart's a waste of time. Now we want to use the irrational decimal, and we use it on the quadratic formula. Opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, that's a song, over 2a. Opposite of b is 6. Square root we just found out. We found out that's 4.47. And then a is going to be 1. A is going to be 1, so it's 2. So you have 6 plus minus 4.47 over 2. So 6 plus 4.47 divided by 2, 5.24 or 25. 6 minus 4.47 divided by 2, 0.77. Okay, nasty graph. Only got one of them in this. Okay, it's all right there for you too. Okay, you need to find this a first. The HK takes care of itself. Okay, so you have to solve for a. It means that has to be replaced. Well, you're going to put up two coordinates over here. One is the HK. The HK is an XY point. Okay, it's just this specific XY point. The middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. H is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, K is 4. Okay, one of the other coordinates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up 1. Okay, now I got all my replacements, so Y is 1, A stays the same. Put a dot, please. Okay. Then X is 7 minus H is 4. Take your time when doing this. K is 4. Now, here's what you're going to write. I might have this on the test, what I'm about to write, but you need to write it today. Blank times A plus blank. That'll help you. So the equation value is 1. You know you got plus 4. What you don't know is what the A is multiplied by. Well, that's easy to figure out. You can just take 7 minus 4, but remember to take whatever that is to the second power. That would be 9. Okay. Now I can solve it pretty easily. Subtract 4. Negative 3 equals 9 times A. Now the answer is not negative 3 because you're dividing by the coefficient 9. Okay. Negative 3 divided by 9, that's a decimal. So you can either keep it negative 3/9. I'm fine if you put negative 3/9 there, or if you reduce it, it'd be negative 1/3. I don't really care. You're not getting docked if you don't reduce fractions. I should probably do it, but I'm not. I'm a wuss. Then H and K are H is 4, K is 4. Now you just replace all those. Y and X need to be there. That's how an equation's going to work. So negative 1/3 or negative 3/9, X minus 4 to the second plus 4. I will think about lining that equals blank times A plus blank, maybe. Okay, because that is a tough problem. Okay, story problems. Number 10. An internet service sells high-speed internet service for $30 to 1,500 customers. For each $1 increase in price, the number of customers will decrease by 25 customers. What's the maximum revenue reached by the company? Okay, now we know from before a maximum, I set this up and it's a coordinate. This is your independent variable. You can put X if you want, don't care. Okay, if you want to put Y here, that's fine. Now, X is found at that coordinate using the standard form, opposite of B divided by 2 times A. Don't do the opposite H. That was not for story problems. I never really want to use that for story problems when I have to solve a story problem from scratch. Okay. So, that's the go-to. Now we need an equation. Now, this ain't gravity, though, unfortunately, because those are easy to write. Okay. Revenue. If I would sell 10 boxes of popcorn for $3, the revenue's $30. Okay, that's how much money. So it's really just taking your money times the number of items that you sell, whatever the items are. Now let's talk money. Okay, I'm going to simply make circle the dollar amounts. Those are together. That's where money's at. 30 and $1. So we start at 30. And I'm just showing this for effect. Now you're increasing it by 1, so plus 1, 31, plus 1, 32, plus 1, 33. Goes on and on and on. So it's 30 plus 1x, because you're doing it over and over. Now the items, if this is plus, this has to be minus. They have to run inverse, and they do. So the items, we started at 1,500, but then every time I plus 1, I minus 25. Okay, so it's going to be 1,475 minus 25 again. That's going to be 1,450 minus 25 again. Just do it that many times. You'll get the idea. Okay, so 1,500 minus 25x. Okay, if that junk confuses you, what I'm doing here, just take your money amounts. They go together. Okay, 30 plus 1x. And then 1,500 decrease minus 25x. Okay. Now you still don't have know your ABC because you have to do something called the FOIL. So R equals. By the way, R is like your Y. If you want to put that, it's fine. Okay. Your R serves as your Y essentially. Okay, 30 times 1,500. You don't even need to use X. You can use something else like P or something. I usually just use X. So 30 multiplied by 1,500 30 times negative 25, that's a 30 times 1500. That looks like crap, but that's what it is. 30 times negative 25x, 1x times 1500, and then 1x times negative 25x. Okay, this is going to be 45,000, okay? Because 30 times 5 is 45, 0, 0, 0. Then you're going to get negative 750x, then you're going to get 1,500x, then a positive time, the negative 25, but the x's then multiply to x a second. Now we have our x squared, our x, and our constant. So the x squared coefficient's negative 25. There's my a. The x's, combine those, that combines to make 750. That's your b. And then the constant's 45,000. Okay, now we're in good shape up here. Okay, opposite of b, negative 750. 2 times negative 25 is negative 50. Then divide, and that's 15. So it takes 15 price changes. I don't care if you label that, but that's what the 15 represents. How many times you add 1. Now, to find your revenue, you simply plug 15 in for the x's. Okay. So I'm going to show I don't care if you show all this, it's up to you. And you can roll that into your calculator. $50,625, okay? And that is our maximum revenue. Okay, now we got these. 2 of them go short. Juggler, that means they don't take a lot of time to solve. A juggler tosses a ball into the air from a height of 4 feet above the ground with an initial velocity of 40 feet per second. Find the maximum height of the ball. There it says maximum height, so I know exactly what I'm trying to find. Okay. And the same as the last problem. Okay. If you want to label your coordinate x, y, that's fine, or you can just leave it without variables, but you find the independent value as opposite of b divided by 2 times a, and then to find the y, you just substitute that into the equation for the whatever variable, the x in this instance. Now this is gravity. That's the force pulling it down. So blank x a second plus blank x plus blank. You don't need parentheses to write gravity. Put equals y though. Gravity itself is represented with the negative 16. Now, this is my velocity, 40 feet. This is my starting height, that's 4, okay? All right, so the opposite of b is negative 40. Easy enough, don't need to FOIL here. 2 times negative 16 is negative 32, then we divide, we get 1.25. Now that's the seconds it took to get to the maximum height, okay? That's the seconds it took. Now to find the actual height, we need to substitute 1.25 for the x variable. That will give me what the y is, the dependent variable. $29 is the answer, 29 feet. Okay, 11b. A juggler tosses a ball into the air from a height of 4 feet above the ground, has an initial velocity of 40 feet per second. How high will the ball be after 1 second? So feet equals. So your units are feet and seconds. You're not finding the maximum, so again, x is seconds, y is feet. And the feet per second value is 40 again. Okay, so here's the parabola. Just mark the starting height, 4 feet. That's all you need to know there. Now write your equation. Gravity negative 16, then the 40 is your velocity, and then the 4 is your constant. So there's the equation, x and y. Well, 1 second, that goes in for x, okay? So replace all your x's with 1s, and that will solve the problem. See, it is a quadratic, but y is not to the second power, it's just to the first power, so it's just one answer. Pathetic, I'm punching this one in on a calculator, it's 28, okay. 28 feet. Okay, last problem. Juggler tosses a ball into the air from a height of 4 feet above the ground, has an initial velocity of 40 feet per second. After how many seconds will the ball fall back to its height of 3 feet? Okay, so again, feet and seconds. X is seconds, Y is feet. So per feet per second is 40. 40 times X. Okay, same song and dance, starts from 4 feet. Now we want to find where 3 feet is, so I'm given a 3 feet value to put into my equation, whatever it is. Okay, first off, write the equation, of course. So negative 16, 40, and 4, same as the last one, but now it's 3 feet. 3 feet goes in for y, okay? So now 3 goes in for y, and I have to solve for x. Okay, now x is to the second power, so there's 2 solutions. So I want to determine, it's a quadratic equation. X is a quadratic, okay, 2 answers. So A, B, C, C. Well, you move your C over because you have to collect everything to one side on an ABC. AC you don't, but ABC you do. AB you have to. Plus 1. Okay, let's go apply our discriminant and see where to go from there. I'm guessing I'll be using the quadratic formula. I won't be trying to factor it. So B is 40. A is negative 16. C is 1. Okay, 40 times 40 is 1,600. 4 times negative 16 times 1 is negative 64. So I add those in. I end up adding it. Sometimes I add, sometimes I subtract. 1,664. Okay, is that a whole number? Hopefully not. Nope, it's decimal. 40.79. So I'm going quadratic formula. Opposite of B, plus or minus the square root. B squared, I already did that, 40.79 over 2A. It's going to be negative 32. Now you're good to go. Remember, if you get an irrational decimal, you go right to the quadratic, and you can add and subtract if it's an irrational decimal. You just round off. Those are approximations, not exact. Negative 0.02, okay? That is not a viable answer if it's negative. In the last packet, we got 2 positive. Now I'll explain that here in a second. But that's the legit one, 2.52. Now the reason you had only one answer today, 3 feet. It's never at 3 feet on the way up because it starts at 4 feet. You'd be going backwards. That's why you got a negative. But you go with the